Hi everyone, myself Bhagyashree. Hope you all of good and good health. And I will say like first of all, welcome to my channel Bhagyashree Tech. And today we have exciting interview materials and question answer lined up for you all. And here we will exploring here with the latest technology. And I will be sharing my insightful industry experience also, and providing the valuable tips to help you for thrive to the like next tech interview preparation material. So in today interview question answer preparation strategy, we'll be taking much more insightful information, and this question already appeared. I asked many times for by my candidate, and I also faced some question and answer to my preparation to my interviews, and that is a very big product based company also, service based company also, and startup company also. So let's start for that. So first of all, just like one info. If you want to this notes also from my end side, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and I will be giving you these notes to all my subscriber who is want. And for that purpose, you have to first send me the email or message or comment in the chat box. So I will be sharing over there. So let's start for that. And this is the video which is I'm covering for as a full stack development, not for only UI side or back end side or SQL side. It will be considering from the front end, back end, and database side also. And Azure of one of the important concept which we are also taking here, because I'm already using the Azure services, Azure Fabric, and more of the Azure App Services. I'm already Microsoft certified in the Azure AZ 2049, 900, 305, 400 like that. So that will be also I'm giving to the insightful information for that perspective also, and how we are using those services in my current project, in company project where these services will be having to help over there. Okay, so I will start from the front end side. I'm using the front end side Angular. So that will be I'm covering here. And if you want React also, I already work on the React also, so I will consider I will create new video for that one also. For that purpose, you have to be just comment in the chat box. Okay, so we'll start with that. Okay, as a fresher, as a beginner, I have to be start the question. So I will ask like, if you're Angular developer, what is the Angular and why does Angular uses the TypeScript? If Angular you are using, there is a backend ts file. So in that we are writing the coding our for the backend related, like in the TypeScript, I will say, like we are using Java system. Similarly, TypeScript also in the JavaScript code, which is a like superset, I will say. So we have to give the answer on this, like Angular is a platform and framework for building single page application using the HTML and TypeScript, and it is developed by the Google and provide a comprehensive set of tools and best practices for building scalable and maintainable web application. And why we are using the TypeScript? It is because of the superset of the JavaScript that add the static typing interfaces and other features that help in writing the more robust and maintainable code. Angular uses this TypeScript because I will say the type safety, better tooling, oops feature. And I will say like must please watch this video. This will be going like Maha episode of the full stack development interview question and answer. Next I have question. What is Angular Material? Angular Material is a UI component library for Angular application that follow the material design guideline, and it provides a collection of the reusable UI component such as button, input, dialogues, toolbars, and more design work seamlessly with the Angular. And after this question answer also, I will create one mini project using the .NET for the backend side, Azure services, combining over there, integrating over there, and UI side the Angular component for the employee management. Okay, so my next question is like, what is a directive in the Angular? What are the types of the directive? So directive is a classes with directive decorator, and directive can change appearance or behavior of the element in the DOM. Like there is a three category. We have a component, structural directive, and attribute directive. The structural directive means we are having to change the structure of that component. So using ngf, ng for, ng switch. Right now in the Angular 17, you can use the address for loop, if loop, switch like that. And attribute routing, this changes the appearance, look and feel of the component or element. So with the help of ng classes, ng style and custom attribute directive. Next question we have like what are the building block of the Angular? Like so there is this is the main point, a main component which we are considering for making the Angular application. So we have a modules, component, templates, services, directive, and next I will say one second. Let me scroll down here. Pipes and dependency injections. Okay, if you are mentioning this all the point, then interview again ask like what is the pipes, what is the dependency injection? They can ask. So if they ask about the dependency injection, you have to give the answer like dependency injection is a design pattern in which object receive its dependency from an external sources rather than creating them itself. In Angular, DI uses to inject the services or other dependency into component services or other Angular constructor, and this allow for better modularity, testability, and maintainability of all the code. This is for the design, like dependency injection. Next question we have what is the data binding and how many way we can it implemented. So we can do the data binding. I will say it is a like synchronized data between the model and the view. It can be implemented in the four ways like we can use the interpolation. The expression you can see here. Then we have a property binding, event binding. Then we have a two-way data binding. Two-way data binding is combination of event binding and property binding with the square bracket and small bracket. Next, we have question like, could you explain the various types of filter in Angular? Because I already mentioned like pipes, dependency injection is a part of the Angular component, Angular building block. So pipes coming with these filters. So we have to be know this answer. So in Angular pipes, filters were used to format the data for the displays in views. In Angular, like pipe are replaced filter and serve similar purpose by transforming the data for presentation in template types, and pipe include like built-in pipe and custom pipe. Built-in pipe like we have a date, currency, uppercase, lowercase, decimal pipe. Otherwise, if you want to create your own custom pipe, you can create that, and for that purpose, we have to use the interface like transformation pipes to create this custom pipe. Next question we have what is a view encapsulation and how many way we can implement it in Angular. So we view encapsulation like determine how style defining a component affect the DOM. Like Angular provide encapsulation strategy like emulated, shadow and none. Emulated like it is a default one and shadow down like is need to shadow down to encapsulate the style, and none is like you don't have to encapsulate style are applied globally to the entire application. Next question we have why prioritize TypeScript over JavaScript in Angular. TypeScript are prefer over the JavaScript in Angular because we offer the type safety, OPS feature, tooling, future proofing. Okay, now so next question we have about the router outlet and router link. What is understand by the router outlet and router link. So router outlet, I will say that directly used to display the view based on the router navigation. For example, you are already seeing the like Facebook page over there. You want to see only images or post by slash. You see this like post is coming or comment page is coming. So that is I will say basis on this router outlet is coming because we are giving this uh, uh, action controller name, so that will be redirecting to this particular pages. Router link is like anchor tag like that and directly used to create the navigation link, and it bind to a URL path and navigate to the associated component when clicked. Next question we have like what is you happen when you use the script tag within a template. Using a script tag inside an Angular component template is considered a bad practice and can lead to a security vulnerability like cross-site scripting. And Angular sanitize this template to prevent the script execution, and any script tag are removed. We have to be remove that from the DOM. Okay, next question we have what is the view child and when would you use this one? Again there is one additional question also like if they are asking how many way you can share the data input output and you view child, if you are mentioning then they are mentioning what is the specific view child giving the facility which is not we are getting from the input or output decorator. So you can mention that like view child is giving the direct access properties when we are using to see the data from parent to child component. See here, our next question like how many way can we share the data between component? You can mention input output property, services, subject or observable, route parameter, state management library like using the NGRX for more complex state management. Next question we have like about the life cycle. We have ng on init, ng on changes, ng do check. Next we have ng content init, ng after content init check. Then we have a ng after view init, ng after view check, and ng on destroy at the last we have to call to destroy the directory component. What is the AOT compilation? What are the advantage of AOT? We already using a JIT and we also having a AOT. So why we have to be use the AOT rather than the JIT? They are also asking this difference also. And again we have to be know like what is the AOT and you have to be use this one. AOT is a like process of compiling Angular template and TypeScript code into JavaScript before a browser download and run it. Advantage of AOT I will say faster rendering, smaller Angular framework, detect error earlier, better security. Next question we have a what is a source map in Angular? Source map we have to be set the true because setting in Angular configuration that generate the source map to debugging. Source map allow developer to view the original TypeScript code into the browser developer tool, making debugging easier. Next question we have what is the RxJS? So RxJS I will say reactive extensible for JavaScript. It is a library for reactive programming using the observable, allowing for the complex async event handling. It is a core part of the Angular and provides a powerful operator for managing async data stream and events. Next question we have like promises versus observable. Promises like representing a single async operation that either resolve or reject. Observable giving like stream of multiple values over time and can emit the multiple values. Observable are like lazy, cancelable, or support many operation for transformation and handling of the data. Next question we have what are the template and reactive form? So template driven form is like using directives suitable for the simple form with the fewer validation. You don't have the more control over there. But in the reactive form, it is a component class provide more control, scalability, and support for the complex validation. Okay, so our next question will be having what is the for root and child root in Angular. For root is like a static method used to configure services at the root level, typically used with the main application model. And for child, configure services for feature model, ensuring that the feature model router and services are correctly scoped. Next question we have how to handle the multiple HTTP requests in Angular. We have a multiple operation to handle this one. We have a fork join, merge map, switch map, concat map. Then they will ask like versus difference over there. So map versus map, merge map versus switch map versus concat map. Map is basically transfer value emitted by an observable by applying a function to each value. Merge map like project each source value to observable and merge all inner observable into a single observable. Switch map like giving the output in observable and cancel the previous observable if new one is emitted. Like it is taking the fresh one, I will say, based on the condition we are giving. Concat map like project each source value to observable and concatenate them in a order, in which order they arrive. Next question we have what are the class decorators? So class decorator are functions that are applied to a class definition or declaration, method, accessor, property or parameter to modify the behavior of class or its member. And in a common decorator we are including like component, directive, injectable, etc. Like if you're creating the services, this is the helpful. Okay, now we have next question about the component decorator in Angular. So the what is a component decorator in Angular? So component decorator used to define a component in Angular, and it provide a metadata about the component such as selector, template, style, etc. Then can they will also ask one of the companies like what is a bundle analysis? It is a process of analyzing the size and content of Angular application, build output tool like Webpack Handle Analyzer to help visualize and optimize the bundle size. They will ask like what is the put and patch? Put is update resource fully and patch is for the partial one. Okay. You will see like when you are creating the Angular application, there is Angular JSON file, package JSON file, package log JSON file. So they will also ask like what is the difference over there. And again, right now you see we already having Angular 17, 18 features available. So they will also ask like what is the difference you found, what is the new things you are getting in the Angular 17 or 18 version. You have to be mention that one also. So you can mention like deferred query also one of the major parameter or major features we can see in the Angular 18, 17. Then all the like ng if ng4 all the stuff is replaced by like directive with that like for loop, if loop like that. And again I will say standalone component true or false. So in the standard one we have to be use the ng model, but in the standalone we don't have to be include all this with the app model like scenario. You can directly use in the component itself only. So you see next question about that one we have what is a standard Angular component and what is a standalone, which is I already covered. Then what is a bootstrap in Angular? So bootstrap is method used to bootstrap the root module in an Angular application, typically in the main.ts file. Okay, if you are creating application, you have to be test that also. So what is the testing mechanism you are using in Angular? You can mention that. I use the Jasmine Karma test bed. Now question we have about the like what is a resolver guard in Angular. So resolver in Angular are used to prefetch data before navigating to a route. They return an observable or promises which must resolve before the route is activated. Next question I have guard in Angular. So guard are services that determine whether a route can be activated, deactivated, or reused. Common guard includes can activate, can deactivate, resolve, etc. Next question we have about the host binding and host listening. So host binding is used to bind a property to host element. Listen is used for event to host element like listening purpose. Okay, this is an important question. Most of the candidates is not aware about that polyfill. Polyfill in Angular is basically used to provide the modern functionality and older browsers that do not natively support, and Angular uses this polyfill to ensure that compatibility across the different browser. Next question we have about the router outlet in Angular. So I already mentioned what is a router outlet and router link. And then they will ask like if you know, then they will ask like can we use the multiple router outlet? You can mention yes. Next question we have